Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Chris Schad. I write for Fansided and Zone Coverage. Still getting my new websites down, by the way. He is Adam Patrick, managing editor of the Viking Age and NFL editor for Fansided. We do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. Be just like Purple Hef here, who just comments and says skull. Thank you. We appreciate that. Skull to you as well. But yeah, man. You want to just dive right into this, or?
Well, I just saw some breaking news that Scott Hansen might be leaving Red Zone to do something else because of the uncertainty at NFL Network. So sad day if that happens.
Oh yeah, because ESPN's gonna.
Yeah.
Man,
Stephen A. Smith will be doing
Slava Medvedinko. You talk about it. They got to play with LeBron. LeBron got to be on the field right now, and they're not doing it. Where are the Lakers? I need to watch the Lakers.
Stephen A. going, let's go to Titans and Jags in the third quarter here. The score 3-3. See if anything's happening.
Who on ESPN would be actually good at that? Like, is there an ESPN person that would actually
probably
be
one
good
of
at
like the
Zone?
Studio analysts?
Dan Orlovsky.
I don't want Mike Greenberg in there.
No.
Should you just put Jason Kelce in there just to mess around?
I mean, that would put the Kelce. Have the Kelce's do the Red Zone. Yeah. Just 8 hours of nonstop Kelce. I mean, I don't like Travis Kelce, but at least they'd be entertaining during the entire. Just have it be like an 8-hour Manning cast, and it's just the Kelce slamming beers and like just watching Red Zone. Just
yeah, I think they would still have to continue it. I think you have to.
Oh, you have. I mean, it's how many people buy Red Zone? You know what I mean? Like they got to find somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's very. Very up in the air. Pat Raynard's also in our comments. He says, "Go Broncos." Fuck Sean Payton. He says Mike Golick too.
It's a little old.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah, maybe his son.
I don't know. They gotta talk like fat. Like it's part highlights and it's part play by play.
Maybe with Tony Reale around the horn is in.
He could do it. He could maybe do it. I don't know. Yeah. Man, that's like a very good question. Like who would be good? You know who wouldn't be good at that? Aaron Rodgers. And that's where we're going to start off our show today because people still seem to think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Viking. The New York Jets today put out a tweet. So we recorded this on Thursday night that they wished Aaron Rodgers the best in his future endeavors. That's a wrestling term for you're fired. He will be a free agent and able to sign with any team dumb enough to sign him in the next couple of weeks. And everybody seems to think, well, if Sam Darnold walks, why wouldn't the Vikings go get him? So my question to you to start off things, why won't this die? Like, why do people keep saying it? Because it's driving me insane.
Because it's a talker. It's easy to talk about, easy to connect the dots because of the Brett Favre relationship, of Favre going from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings. Now it's Rodgers going from the Packers and Jets. So naturally, the next destination for him should be the Vikings, obviously. But we forget that when the Vikings signed Favre, they didn't have a top 10 pick waiting to start, in the wings. They had Tavares Jackson, who they wanted to be that young and upcoming quarterback, but he was a second-round pick, and he wasn't really doing a whole lot. Maybe that'll be McCarthy, but right now, McCarthy's the guy, and the culture that the Vikings have built in that locker room of positivity and, not finger-pointing, it really, it just woun't really fit with what Aaron Rodgers has carried with him, like this dark cloud wherever he goes recently. Not that, he doesn't understand why it's like that, but But for whatever reason, wherever he goes and things leak, wherever I got to find those leakers. It's like that Tim Robinson meme when he's dressed up like the hot dog, and after the hot dog car bowls into the house, and he's like, "Gotta find who did this." Yeah. So no, it's just easy to connect the dots. People are like, "Oh, the Vikings. If Darnold leaves, and the Vikings don't have anyone," it's like, what are you talking about? Like, they have JJ McCarthy. Like, I know there's uncertainty around him, but there was uncertainty about Sam Darnold last year at this point. Like, there shouldn't be. If Kevin O'Connell wasn't there, okay, fine, uncertainty. But as long as he's there, the coach of the year, if he's still there shouldn't be any uncertainty about what this team is going to do with the quarterback. Especially today, I just wrote about it. He went on the Dan Patrick show, and Dan flat out asked him, because that's what he does. He doesn't like beat around the bush. He's like, "Is Sam Darnold going to be? Do you expect him to be with the Vikings next year?" And O'Connell did not give a straight answer. He was like, "We're really excited about McCarthy and Darnold. He set himself up to be the top quarterback in free agency." Why would you say Darnold is going to be the top quarterback in free agency if you want to bring him back? No, he's gone. McCarthy's the guy. Everything's going well. He said McCarthy's in the facilities every day, including Tuesdays. So he's the guy, ready to go. He's on a rookie contract. Like, no, Rodgers is not coming. I don't care what people want to put out there. It's going to be out there just because people are like, "Oh, yeah, Favre and Rodgers." No, it's not coming, not happening. Just, we can end it now, but it's not going to end, unfortunately.
You know how Kevin O'Connell is. Well, you know how I feel about Sam. Sam's been
he's a politician.
He's an integral part to our roster. We won 14 games with him last year. Yeah. I'm just standing here stating the obvious to kind of buy time so I don't give you a cold bullshit answer. And we haven't really made a decision yet. We have Sam Darnold and we have JJ McCarthy. They both like tacos in the cafeteria. They're very nice to everybody in the staff there. And we're going to take our time and we're going to make our decision. Okay. 8:48.
They've made their decision.
They have made.
And all the reports too, like, they come out, like, where it's like all the insiders like, "Well, the Vikings are still weighing their out." They're saying that because they don't want to be wrong. That's all. That's the only reason. I'll say this right now, because I don't care if I'm wrong. Sam Darnold's not coming back to the Vikings. Okay, he's not. He's not. He's not coming back.
As he burst through the walls at TCO Performance Center, Week 1, Sam Darnold now, at $40 million.
If McCarthy's leg splits in half within the next few weeks, then Darnold will be back. But that's not likely going to happen.
Don't you put that evil on me.
It is Patrick. Minnesota. You know that Minnetonka water just shrivels your bones.
He could just like walk onto the practice field and his leg would like it would. What happened to that one thing that tried to go see the Titanic? Like it imploded, right? Was that what it was?
The spaceship that was like a refrigerator? I don't even know what it
was. They like tricked out a refrigerator and tried to go see the Titanic.
It was a bunch of billionaires in like a storage container.
Why isn't this working?
Yeah. And they had like they have like a N64 controller as like the steering wheel or whatever. So man. And they died. No way.
Who would have thought that wouldn't have worked? Okay, 10-10 of the stream. Put that down because this is probably going to wind up on the internet somewhere. This is happening for 3 different reasons. One, people are just lazy. They look at this and they go, "Well, the Vikings signed Brett Favre in 2009 and Aaron Rodgers' career is just like Brett Favre's and he's going to go do it." It's a case of the member berries for people who actually want this to happen. It's the same people who want to give Trey Smith $30 million because they did it with Steve Hutchinson, even though he got his ass kicked in the Super Bowl. The other thing is people think it's funny because this fan base, I don't think people want to hear this, but they're obsessed with the Packers. Wouldn't it be funny if Aaron Rodgers signed with the Vikings like Brett Favre did? And then I could go make fun of my Packer friend and we beat him twice last year. And I just laugh at him all the time for it. This fan base, the only reason we thought that team last year was going to win a Super Bowl was because they beat the Packers twice and they kicked the shit out of Kirk Cousins. That was the one thing that made us say, wow, this team is for real. They could win the Super Bowl. And then they played two good teams and they got their teeth kicked in. The third reason that this is still happening with Aaron Rodgers is because people are cowards. You want to hear something interesting? I think signing Aaron Rodgers would be as destructive as if the Vikings traded for Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Because I think that culture would get burned to the ground. He flew to the Jets with a bouquet of dandelions and said, I'm ready, Coach Glenn. I'm here for you. Let's do this. And they said, okay, you're going to show up to all the mandatory camps and you're going to stop going on the Pat McAfee show. And he was like, whoa. I mean, there's an ayahuasca festival in June. And like, I got to be on my bro, Pat McAfee. And we got to throw everybody under the bus. And okay, see ya. He's a narcissistic prick. He only thinks about himself. I mean, I just saw on social media a picture of him and Devontae Adams from when that happened. That went absolutely well. He thinks he knows everything, whether it's doctors, general managers, whether it's, NFL analysts. He's the smartest guy in the world. Just ask him. And then there's this like section that sees this and they're still like, but you don't know, JJ McCarthy might not be good, and he didn't play last year. And if he's not good, we're going to be the Jets or the Browns, or we might even be the Bears or whoever. And let's see what JJ McCarthy needs to do to be better than Aaron Rodgers next season. 63% completion rate. JJ McCarthy had a completion rate over 7. He actually led the nation in completion rate during his final year at Michigan. 79? I know 72, I believe. Okay. So it was up there, but he didn't throw enough. So, let's throw that out the window. 3,897 yards. Sam Darnold threw for more last year. 28 touchdowns. Sam Darnold threw for more of those, and 11 interceptions. Okay, Sam Darnold threw more of those too, but you get the idea. Rodgers was also 18th in overall PFF grade. He had a 4.2 big time throw percentage, which is basically shoving it into a small window, and a 1.6 turnover worthy play rate because his average depth of target was about 7 yards. Sam Darnold did better than this. And I don't understand what everybody is afraid of with JJ McCarthy. It's just like this fear. Like, what are you afraid of?
It's not, I don't think it's Vikings fans. I think it's the national narrative.
I think it's both. I think it's both. Like you talk to people and they're just like, there's a section of the fan base that wants to sign Sam Darnold to the Baker Mayfield deal, TM. So you could be on the Jordan Love plan, TM. So you can find your Patrick Mahomes, TM, and all these other bullshit cliches that people want. I mean, what are you afraid of? Oh, we could go 9-8. Oh, that's scary. Oh, we could go 10-7. Ooh, and not win the Super Bowl in the wild card round. Yeah. Ooh, that's totally like if Aaron Rodgers signs with the Vikings, I might not watch for an entire year. Actually, that's probably bullshit. I'm going to watch the Vikings, but I mean, I will rip everyone.
Hate watch. It would be hate watch.
I will rip everybody in that building to shreds. Yeah. This is like you said, this isn't Brett Favre because like Brad Childress had to get on his knees and beg Brett Favre to come here. He was at the end of the line. If he went with Tavares Jackson, he was going to get fired. Kevin O'Connell is in a completely different situation. He just got a contract extension. He has a top 10 pick who he still hasn't unleashed on the NFL yet. I would rather have Daniel Jones start the season than Aaron Rodgers if JJ McCarthy's not ready. And I know some people would be, well, Daniel Jones sucked. What are you doing? You said the same shit about Sam Darnold, and how did that turn out? So no. I do not want Aaron Rodgers on this team. It's not happening.
We're going to clip this.
That's why I gave you the timestamp.
Yeah, I feel like it's similar to when everyone was predicting the Vikings to win 6 games or 4 or 5 games before the season. We're like, okay, they might not be like amazing. And we didn't think they're going to win 14 games, but we didn't think they're going to be fighting for the number 1 pick. We're like, this team has good players. Their defense might be one of the best defenses in the league, which turned out to be true. It's just like, I feel like it's just this trend of a lot of people where the team specific coverage is like going to the wayside and more people are trying to go viral or whatever by covering the entire league. And with that, they're spreading themselves too thin and not really knowing what's going on. Like when you see a mock draft and they have the Vikings drafting an offensive tackle, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense because they have Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill, the two best tackles maybe in the league. So yeah, they should do that. But it's just, I don't know. It's like you said, it's a bunch of things. It's lazy. It's dumb. Like, why? I would rather have them sign Sam Darnold to a long-term contract, like expensive. I would rather have them give Sam Darnold the Kirk Cousins contract than for them to sign Aaron Rodgers. I would rather have that. It's a lot more than just his play on the field. The Jets were a disaster again. Like, they keep finding a way to do it, but like, the Vikings want nothing to do with that. Like you said, how Childress had to go beg for Favre. I feel like Rodgers would have to beg O'Connell to be on this team. Like, it would have him having to do a favor for Rodgers instead of the other way around. So, and I don't think Rodgers was really that good last year. So, like, I don't think he would.
I just showed you the stats.
Yeah, like, he had those numbers, like efficient. It's like Russell Wilson at this point, where it's like he has efficient numbers, but if you watch him play, he's not good. He gets those numbers in either garbage time or he just doesn't take chances. It's like the Kirk Cousins formula. You're not going to have bad numbers if you don't make bad throws. So yeah. So yeah. All right. Deep breaths. We can move on.
It makes you're upset too. Like your heart rate does not raise during the course of the show like mine does. I get out of here, I feel like I did cardio for 60 minutes, but get that checked. But anyway,
my heart rate raises when my kids piss me off. So
yeah,
they know how to do that. So
I was talking to friend of the show, Nick Marty, and I was sending him a wrestling clip, and he said, I wish I could give sweet chin music to kids who misbehave. And I said, your kids would think that's a reward. They'd be like, that was awesome. He gave me chin music. Like, yeah, go to your room now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do a little calmer here. A little woosa. And what if I said, let's say JJ McCarthy isn't ready. Maybe Daniel Jones signs somewhere else. Sam Darnold leaves. You trading for Matthew Stafford?
I know Kevin O'Connell would love that. I really think he would. But at the same time, I think he really wants to like show. Like he just did this thing with Sam Darnold where he turned him into everything that he could have hoped he could ever be. And I think he might enjoy that process more than just adding someone like Matthew Stafford where he knows what he's going to get out of him. And he's gonna be good, but is he gonna take you at this age to the Super Bowl? It's possible. Like, I'm not gonna say no, but I think he wants to. I think they have a plan. They invested in JJ McCarthy, and they want to go through with it. I think that's what they unless, like, for whatever reason Stafford comes at like a huge bargain. I don't think they're a team that's gonna show much interest. A team like the Steelers maybe might have more interest. A team like the Giants I've seen floated around, since they're kind of just, they need to be good next year or else everyone's getting fired. I mean, everyone should have been fired already after the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't hate it, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
John Mara should have went on the Super Bowl stage and be like, yeah, congrats, guys. You're fired. Do you see this right here? Pointing at Saquon Barkley. Do you see? You're fired. Look at this shit. This is what I was telling you about.
Yeah. We don't want to pay a running back, when we're paying a quarterback. Guess what? They're not paying either now because they're both gone.
I am so sad that there is not an off-season hard
right?
Because my God, the material was great.
I think the Giants should just double down and do it again. Just be like, we can't do any worse, right?
Brian Dable just sitting there in the thing with Jane McDaniel, or not Jane McDaniel, sorry,
Jane Daniels.
Jane Daniels just going like, you're gonna run a 2-2 XY switchblade, double cross mojito, whatever. And like, he's like, okay, now do it without that. Look at this idiot. He can't do that. What makes you think you can play quarterback in the NFL? Well, because Cliff Kingsbury is just like, XYZ on 3.
Yeah. Joe Shane's own kids are like, you should draft Drake May. And he's like, nah.
They were talking about JJ McCarthy, and he's like doing all that. And he's like, whoa, you're saying a lot there. And he's like, yeah, Jim Harbaugh made us do this all the time. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, it probably won't be this long.
He has a lot of phrases.
Yes, exactly. A enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Stafford.
Does Kupp come with him? Does Cooper Kupp come with him?
A twofer. I would rather have Cooper Kupp than Matthew Stafford.
I don't think they're going to trade him, though. I don't think they're going to find a taker. Not with that salary.
If Cooper Kupp is a free agent, I'm pouncing on him.
Yeah,
because I think he'd be great here. I think we talked about that last episode, but
yeah,
that would be a guy I would love on this team right now because he knows the offense, and the Vikings are probably going to need a receiver for 3 games because Jordan Addison's going to get suspended if he's not traded. Stafford, I mean, he's just weird at this point of his career. He's 37 years old. And like at the end, like I made the joke all the time that towards the end of the year, and I don't watch film or anything. So before all the film people come at me and be like, he was actually going through progressions where Kupp wasn't getting open. Like, calm down. This is just my observation. But the sweet little Puka Bear thing was real because he either threw it to Puka or it was a run by Kyron Williams up the middle. Like that offense was bizarre at the end of the year. And it beat the Vikings, but I don't know how much gas Stafford has. It would clearly be a 1-year thing. It would be a situation where you're not sold on JJ McCarthy. And I don't think the Vikings are in that spot based on what Kevin O'Connell was saying today. So I'd say no, but if they did it, it wouldn't be like a Rodgers situation. It'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Plus the Vikings don't have draft picks.
Right.
So like the compensation thing, like what is that? Like, I'm not trading 2026 picks for Matthew Stafford.
He's 37.
Yeah.
That's 13 years older than JJ McCarthy.
If the kid 15. Is healthy, let him play. That's all I want. Like, if he's healthy and ready to go, get him on the field. Don't do this Jordan Love thing where, well, he's ready, but we're making him do all this stuff. Like,
and it's just, this happens every offseason, I feel like, where it's like, hey, I want more money. I'm going to ask for a trade. Or put it out there that I'd be open to moving.
Or I'm going to have my wife go off on a podcast.
That, we like it in LA, but there's other places.
Honey, could you go full Karen? Could you go full Matt LaFleur for me, please?
She doesn't have to go full. She doesn't have to try.
Full Matt LaFleur.
Like I've seen Rams fans, the handful of them that exist, like they're all on the Kelly Stafford's the worst. It's like, well, I mean, you could sign Adam Thielen too and see how that goes. So
get them on the same team.
Oh my god!
Like maybe they could all meet up in Kansas City and
they should all. Yeah, I was gonna say they should all go to the Chiefs and then Brittany Mahomes and Stafford and Thielen and Thielen. Oh my god!
They're tackling Patrick.
That's a
What's
TV
going
show.
On?
That's a TV show right there.
That is Football Wives.
I think that exists already, so it have to be something else, like Kansas City.
But that's like Soccer Wives.
Wags or whatever.
It would be like receiver or quarterback, but just with their wives.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
People would.
Yeah, they would.
People would. Oh man. Well, we'll have whatever Netflix is cooking in a couple of months here because football season is over, but you can still get in the game over at Underdog Fantasy. Basketball season, when your favorite stars score buckets, you still have an opportunity to win money at Underdog. With their pick'em game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats like points, assists, rebounds, and more. You could play with as little as $1 and not make million. We're using a new script here, so I apologize. Let me back that up here. You can play with as little of $1. And millions of fans have already won billions of dollars making picks on Underdog. I'll revise it next time. I'm super sorry, Underdog people. I've been using Underdog for for a few years. Adam has as well. I'm playing Underdog most nights, rolling with Anthony Edwards. I like picking higher on his 3-pointers, higher on his points. If basketball's not your thing, you can make picks on the Four Nations tournament, or even when the NHL season fires back up, you can make picks on your favorite Wild players when they're hungover from their Turks and Caicos trip. Download the app, sign up with the promo code The Age. It's all one word, as you see on the screen here, to unlock a special order of $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with the promo code The Age. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama or Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. Okay, next time I promise I'll read it before I typed it out and everything, and I still stumble and everything else. And I don't know, maybe the Turks and Caicos thing was a little aggressive, but
what's the Four Nations thing? Is that going to happen every year now?
No. So this is, they haven't done international tournaments since 2016 because the NHL PA pulled out. So like the Olympics have been like amateur players. So now they want to start doing best on best again, kind of dream teams type things.
The Olympics have been amateurs?
Yeah.
I don't even think I know.
For hockey, yes. Yep. So they've done amateurs again, like they used to do when the Miracle on Ice. It wasn't NHL players; it was just college hockey players from like Boston and Minnesota. What'd you say?
I said basketball used to do that too, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they went to the dream team and
destroyed everybody.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty good now, actually, because like other areas of the world are good, so it doesn't matter. Hockey, not so much. So what they decided to do, because it had been a long time, instead of an all-star game, they decided to have a Four Nations tournament between U.S., Canada, Sweden, and Finland. So they're playing, USA's playing right now, and the Wild GM actually is the general manager of the US team. So there's Matt Boldy and Brock Faber on that team. Because my favorite player, Matt Boldy, he's like catnip to casual hockey fans. Just like, this guy is so good. I love Matt Boldy. He's awesome. Brock Faber's good.
Is Kaprizov or on any team?
So he's Russian, and they don't let them play for obvious reasons right now.
He can't be a Finnish sympathizer.
Right. And Kaprizov's hurt right now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit mixed up, but last night's game was fun. Philip Gustafsson giving up the game-winning goal for Sweden. Stump the book. Let's talk about more Vikings trade news and rumors. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler believes the Vikings are probably letting Byron Murphy Jr. go, but will try and re-sign Cam Bynum this offseason. So if one can stay, who are you keeping?
I think you would have to go Murphy, but it doesn't sound like the Vikings are willing to pay him probably what he can get on the open market, which looks like could be like $17 million a year. Which I'm fine with, because before, like this past season, he was okay, but this past season he had 6 picks, and I think he had his best like PFF grade and stuff like that of his career in his first Pro Bowl appearance. Contract year as well, so usually that happens. And then guys get paid and they're like, I'm good. And then I do remember, I think there was some rumblings earlier in the season where like Brian Flores and maybe some other coaches had to like sit Murphy down and be like, hey, can you get your shit together? Because you're good. Like, can you just like focus and study and stuff? Because you can be better. And he did. And then he was better. So He's still young. He can still make a difference, but I feel like I can see the Vikings. They got Mekhi Blackman coming back. I can see them re-signing like Shaq Griffin because he's still only 29. And then maybe adding another veteran corner, and then maybe drafting someone because we thought this about with when Danielle Hunter was let go. We're like, oh man, now their pass rush is going to suck, and they completely revamped it with Jonathan Grenard and Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner. So like, I have confidence in this Vikings front office to retool a position group like the cornerback group, and then safety. Like, I don't think the Vikings want to pay Cam Bynum $17 million either. Like he's not. If he was an All-Pro or a Pro Bowler, at least maybe, but I don't think they want to do that. And there's somebody on who's going to be a free agent from the Dolphins, Javon Holland, who used to play under Brian Flores and had his best years under Brian Flores. So I think they might consider that. But and Theo Jackson's in there too as well, and they might want to turn to him. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they said goodbye to both, and I don't think it would really make that big of a difference. I know Bynum's like a good locker room guy. Obviously, does the celebrations and stuff, but I think they want to bring him back, but they don't want to pay him stuff that he probably doesn't deserve, even if it's the what the market determines or whatever.
What the market determines. So over the cap, I'm looking at the valuation right now, $5.6 million
for
Cam Bynum. I think he's I wonder what Spot Track says. Just give me 1 second here. I'm looking that up right now.
He's at 17.
17 at Spot. I feel like Spot Track's way more accurate, but I think Spot Track.
Well, I think the valuation on over the cap is like their last
game how they just played, as opposed to like what? Yeah, 17.7 million on Spot Track, and then Pro Football Focus has 14.25 million.
No, I think if they put the transition tag on him, I think that's like 14 million. So that could be something they do where like they take a 1 year flyer on him or whatever. Because the safety tag's obviously cheaper than the cornerback tag.
The Anthony Harris approach to it.
Which worked.
Yeah. I think I want Cam Bynum because I want my WWE celebration. I want like Swanton Bomb off the goalpost.
Yeah, but you're not going to get that from him. You're going to get like the Lion King,
I like Lion King. What are you saying?
Aladdin. Like he's going to give you like Disney Channel stuff, which is fine too. But like, yeah, you're not going to get DX's intro in the middle of the end zone.
Lindsey Young would be hyped though. Like if they like busted out, I can show you world, if they made shining, shimmering splendor.
If they made like Pride Rock and had someone lift Cam Bynum up like he's Simba.
Yes. In all seriousness, I feel like you can get a corner to replace Murphy. And I think there's good corners on the market. If they said no to Andrew Booth, Jesus.
They did already. They did.
Byron Murphy. Yeah, they already did. They said, get the hell out. You got DJ Reed, top corner on the market. Good investment, though. I mean, if they want to pay top dollar for him, I'm not going to be mad.
Than Byron Murphy.
Yes. And then you have a couple of guys who are 25, 26 in that range that Kwesi likes to strike in free agent deals. Asante Samuel Jr., same age as Murphy when he signed in Minnesota. Nate Hobbs, he's battled some injuries with the Raiders, but he can fill that slot role if you decide to leave him behind. Maybe you do him with another signing at corner. And then Paulson Adebo of the Saints, little risky, but I'd be okay with it if they decide to go that route. I think they need to sign at least one, maybe two corners just to cover yourself in case.
And there'll be some in the summer.
Mekhi Brett. You called him Malachi Blackman.
No, I didn't. I said Mekhi.
Or maybe you didn't. Maybe that's just my thing.
I definitely didn't say that.
Wrestling brain.
And
no man is ever truly good. There'll be
people in the summer too where they signed, because they signed Stephon Gilmore in the summer. because after the draft or whatever, you figure out what you need left, and they'll probably have some cap space left. I don't anticipate them spending all of their cap space this year, but.
And you mentioned Theo Jackson too. I feel like they're waiting on Harrison Smith right now.
I think he's coming back
because if he doesn't,
Flores is coming back though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what. I mean, no. I mean, he wasn't a liability on the field like another guy I'm going to talk about later in the podcast. But, like I don't know, like could Theo Jackson fill in for Cam Bynum? Do they believe in him that much? Yeah. I think that plays a big role. If you bring Bynum back, you can keep Metellus doing what he's doing with the, linebacker role. I guess gun to head, if we got to keep one, I like Bynum. And if they let them both walk, I'm not going to be upset. But I like Bynum as a play. I think he's fine. He makes mistakes here and there, but very smart player. It just depends on what his price is. I'm not giving him $17 million. I don't want to do that.
I know the Vikings fans are scarred from 2022 of drafting Lewis C in the first round. There's some good safeties that have first round grades.
The Georgia kid. That would be awesome. Dame,
Watts.
Mm-hmm.
That they could probably trade back in like early second round and still get one of these guys. So like, I think they'll be fine without Bynum's. Like he's good, but like, is he gonna be the type of player like the Lions have like Brian Branch and stuff? Like, is he gonna be the player that gets you to that next level? I don't think he is. I don't think extending him is gonna be like, oh, good, now we got him locked down and we're gonna be good in this. I don't think that's the guy.
I still want my WWE celebration.
Metellus is still gonna be there, so he can take that over.
I want to see Harrison Phillips tsunami.
They're not going to just discontinue that because Bynum's gone. They're going to have like a new leader of the dance team or whatever. Ivan Pace does TikTok.
Do you get a Letterman's jacket for that too, or what?
TikToks. He could do it probably.
He does. Yes. I don't know. Ivan Pace, I feel, would just be like shitpost celebrations. Just like, what is he doing? I don't know. He's peeing on the goalpost. Like, what's going on here? This isn't fun. Let's talk about another Vikings player, CJ going ham. He's from Minnesota. I don't know if you heard about that. Duluth, actually. Went to Augustana, about an hour away from my place.
North Dakota? South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota. Yep, down in Sioux Falls. They can save $2.65 million with a release. His special teams grade was 131st out of 217 players with 50% of the league lead in special team snaps. That's a mouthful, but trust me, about an average special teams player. Is he the new Marcus Sherrills? Like, are they just going to keep him around? Or?
Yeah, I mean, he was a captain last year, so I always feel like they probably consider that. And he only has 1 year left on his deal. I just don't know why the Vikings have a fullback. Like, they're not good.
They don't use one.
Well, they use him, but he's not effective. Like, they ranked last in the NFL last year in runs inside their opponent's 10-yard line. They gained 0.4 yards, and he was on the field for a bunch of them. And I looked it up because I wrote about this yesterday, where I looked up the run blocking grades of all the fullbacks in the NFL. There's like 7. CJ Ham was last with his grade, his PFF run block grade, and then I think he led all fullbacks with 4 pressures allowed and 1 sack, whatever. But like, the Kevin O'Connell's offense doesn't need a fullback. They don't. Why do you have Josh Oliver and CJ Ham? Pick one. You can easily line Josh Oliver in the backfield as a fullback. Like, if you want a fullback so bad, because having Josh Oliver too, like, hasn't done anything. I'm so glad he grades so well as a blocker on PFF. That has done jack shit for the Vikings. Okay, they suck at running short yardage situations. They suck at running in the red zone. They suck at running near the goal line. Like, if they want to get better, they need to find some actual people who are effective at getting those yards. And Aaron Jones might not be that guy either, but having a fullback on the Vikings, it just doesn't make any sense. it doesn't fit their offense. And I feel like Kevin O'Connell kind of feels bad because, like, CJ Ham's a good guy or whatever. He was the Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Vikings this year. And he's like, oh, we'll find a role for you. It's like, why? Like, just let him go to, like, the Niners or the Ravens or something and, like, actually be maybe useful. And he might not even be useful anymore because I think his numbers have gone down since Kevin O'Connell became head coach. So I don't know. Like, they'll probably keep him, but they don't need him.
It's like when the Twins sign players because
Wait, they signed
clubhouse
players?
presence. Like, yeah, they did. Ty
at
France,
the
$1 million
dollar
non-guaranteed year. They actually signed Harrison Bader was their first free agent.
Didn't they have to
over
like
$5
ask
million
permission to spend like $7 million?
Yes. Because Derek Falvey was like, Joe's done a really good job. He was very generous. You know, we were able to add this payment. It's like, dude, you added like $13 million, man. But like, you know, Christian Vasquez, well, we can't trade him. He's such a good clubhouse presence and clubhouse guy. And like, all right, dude, he's got a 500 OPS. What are we doing here, man? I think it's like the sentimental thing. Like, you don't want to let him, you want him to play, but also too, you're burning that roster spot. So it's kind of like,
and you can, and we say it's only like 2.5 million to free up, but you could use that. Like, you could use that on a veteran corner or veteran safety, like, if you need to. Like, that money could become important or make the difference in signing a top free agent or not. So, like, it might not seem like a lot, but it can make a difference in something like that.
Can you name another? So Marcus Sherrills,
yeah,
you know, 4 minutes. So actually, I don't even know where I was going with it. Daryl Thompson's the answer because he went to John Marshall as well. So that's what I was trying to get towards. And like, I didn't have the question written down. Whatever. Go Rockets. Go listen to Bar Down Beauties. Kirsten Kroll, also a John Marshall Rocket. Anyway, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
Should the Vikings trade or what?
No. I'm just muttering nonsense.
Should the Vikings trade or extend Andrew Van Ginkel? You got Dallas Turner coming on at the end of the last year. Van Ginkel is going to turn 30 in July. The Vikings can save $6.8 million with a trade, but he's got 4 void years at the end of that contract. So I don't think anybody's trading for him, but
do the void years stay with the Vikings? They might.
Well, no, because Zadarius Smith got traded to the Lions, and the Lions are going to cut him because he's got 3 void years at the end of his deal. So they assume that contract.
I'm sure they can figure it out. Yeah, I threw the Van Ginkel thing out there, and people are furious. I heard it. I think I heard it on like Purple Daily or something first. A listener suggested it, and I was like, it's not the worst idea because, yeah, like you said, he's going to be 30. He hasn't had his best season until now at this point in his career. It was a good season. He went to Pro Bowl, and he was really good. But are you going to extend him? And then if you do, what are you going to do with Dallas Turner? Like, is he just going to be a rotational guy for the next 3 or 4 years? And then when he has one good year, then you're going to have to figure out if you want to extend him too.
You're going to trade him for Myles Garrett.
Sure. Van Ginkel for Garrett? Yeah, fair trade.
Oh, yeah. Dallas hurt. No, we're going to give you Andrew Van Ginkel. Kid believed he wants out, man.
Andrew Berry and Kwesi are friends. That'd work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's only making like 11 million next year too, which is severely underpaid for the amount of production he had last year. So I think the Vikings are probably just gonna give him more money because they can afford it this year. And I think Brian Flores likes him because he played with the Dolphins and then came over and followed Flores to the Vikings. So I think he's a Flores guy. So they could trade him. I think he's at his peak trade value at this point. I just think I'm in my head. I'm thinking like, who could they trade to get more draft picks? Because the Vikings currently only have 4 draft picks, 2 on the first 2 days. So I feel like Van Ginkel would be one of the few that could get you maybe like a 3rd and a 4th at best, not together, but like a 3rd or a 4th.
And in that case, why wouldn't you just let him play out this year?
But is he going to do that?
Turner as a well, here's the. So if he holds out, then you trade him. I mean,
he doesn't seem like a holdout. He seems like his agent might be a holdout person, but not him. Like he's like, we're gonna hold out, and he's like,
he's from here. Okay. Like technically, I think he's from Iowa,
it's
right?
Same area, right? Midwest.
Yeah, so he's probably like, whatever.
And he went to
I'm sure
Dakota,
he. Right, I'm sure he gets it. Sorry, there's just a big truck that just pulled out in front of my house. I don't know what's going on there.
Mr. Van Ginkel.
He's about to jump out and throw me in the back of a U-Haul. Yeah, I mean, I think, with Van Ginkel, let him play out this year if he's not kicking down your door for an extension, and then go ahead and, you take the depth. If he walks at the end of next year, you get your comp pick in what would it be, 2027 then? Yeah, 2027 comp pick. So I don't know. I mean, I think you would just go ahead and do that. And
maybe they want a three-headed pass rush or whatever with Turner and Van Ginkel and Grenard.
I'm sure Brian Flores can cook one up. Like, all right, we got too many edge rushers. No, we don't. Like, I'm going to put one at safety.
Tackle.
Just totally screw something up. All right. So that's our my fault. Very sloppy segment there. I don't know what this U-Haul is doing. It's parked in front of my. Yeah, it's not moving anything. It's actually just parked in front of my garage stall. So I guess I'm not going anywhere the rest of the night.
Is there anyone else you think they could get something back and like, I don't know, decent in a trade? Like Garrett Bradbury, I don't know, can you get a 7th, a 6th? Ed Ingram, get you a
ham sandwich.
7th in 2030. I don't know.
A Subway coupon.
Josh Oliver. No, like
a jar of olives.
Like I think if they really wanted to, they could trade T.J. Hawkinson, but he has a lot of dead money on his. Like I guess Addison would probably be the only one.
Right.
But I don't know if they want to trade him. If he does something else this summer, they'll want to trade him.
Yeah, and everybody would be like, "No, thank you."
That's what I got to
do. I don't think we want to do that. You want to go around the league? You want to talk about some stuff around the league? Let's start off with the Super Bowl. What did you think about the Super Bowl?
First, I was really annoyed with the score bug because it was just very.
It was too simple. They were trying to go simple, but it was too simple.
I saw someone I think made it in Excel. Like they just easily made it after the game in Excel. So, don't mess with like. It wasn't. I don't think it was bad before. So, but they always have to innovate and have a new one. So that was that, and then you had the.
All it's got to be is a little bar at the bottom. Like it's not rocket science.
It doesn't have to be like cutting edge. It's huge numbers.
The 7 hits you in the face. But
they had the pass interference call, the offensive pass interference call on AJ Brown on the first drive, and I'm like, I'm sure everyone else is like, here we go. But it wasn't. It actually was offensive pass interference because he grabbed his face mask. But then the Eagles just pummeled the Chiefs, and everyone was like, "Oh, the Chiefs are going to make their 28-3 run," and I'm just like, "No, they're not. Like, they're getting destroyed."
It was over at that point. Like Patrick Mahomes couldn't even find any room. It was just like, he was bad. The offensive line was bad. You know who else? I don't know how deep you're going in the weeds, but you know who else was bad? Travis Kelce was bad. He looked like a guy who wanted to go home,
should retire
and hang out with his super famous wife, or girlfriend. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun here, but maybe he wanted to propose at the end of the game. That was a hot thing at the end on social media. They're like, I was going to propose. James Palmer had a report, and it sounded like they were trying to discuss whether they wanted to put Old Yeller down. Just like, oh, he loves coming into work every day, but he lost his step, and he could still make an impact. Like when he just stood there when Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. Just
people
like,
think he's the greatest tight end. Wow, tight end of all time. Do you agree? I don't think so.
I'd put Gronk ahead of him.
I might even put Shannon Sharp ahead of him.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was ahead of his time. Tony Gonzalez, what's his name?
Jimmy Graham.
Kellen Winslow, like way back in the day on the Chargers.
Jimmy Graham was a stud for a while.
Yeah, he had like 4 good years.
Yeah. Kelsey's just been able to do it
Kyle
the longest.
Rudolph,
Andrew Glover. Yeah. Jim Kleinsaucer.
I mean,
now that's
college football Hall of Famer.
That's who Josh Oliver wishes he would be. Exactly. For the fighting
yeah, Sioux. And then I mean the concert at halftime was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I know a lot of other people didn't, but I enjoyed it, and all the intricacies and little subtleties that were thrown in there that you wouldn't have picked up on unless you, I guess, went online and everyone told you about them, because that's all anyone did afterwards. But I thought it was good. And then I don't think I really watched like the ceremony or anything. I was like the Gatorade shower. That was, like you mentioned, that was like one of the best Gatorade showers anyone's ever done.
Sirianni took
like
that
the whole thing.
I mean, he didn't know it was coming, but like he just boom, like he got blindsided
because they did it with like 4 minutes to go.
See, that's smart. Well, they knew the game was over, like, you know, in that situation. It's like, all right, let's just do this. He'll never see it coming. I will say this. I might get ragged on a little bit as a Vikings fan. I was a little happy for Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that dude was going to get run out of Philly earlier this year. And, like, I agreed with it. I'm like, this guy sucks. He's
arguing with AJ Brown in the game.
Yeah, and then they finished the season with a 16-1 record. They were better than the Lions. They were better than the Lions in the end. He kicked Andy Reid's ass. He took a Gatorade bath like a champ, and he didn't seem like an asshole for the 10 minutes he was on stage. I'm like, good for that dude. Yeah. Like, seriously. And then he, like, reverted back into his normal form. Yeah. But, I mean, Jalen Hurts, super happy for him, actually. You know. I still hate Eagles fans. Go to hell, but yeah. And then the halftime, I'm just indifferent. People are like, what did you think of the halftime show? I'm like,
halftime show. Why do we have to have an opinion on everything?
Right. And then I went online and I saw the stuff and I'm like, oh, that's actually really smart. It's like, yeah, Drake was stalking Serena Williams. That's why she was there. But it was
a Super Bowl, and then I don't think there were really any commercials or anything that I even remembered that were like, oh, that was good. No, they've been dead for a while. I feel like the commercials.
Yeah,
that Seal one with Baja Blast. Okay, that one wasn't bad.
There was one with Tim Robinson too, where the ET whatever got like crushed, and he's like, we tried to connect with him, whatever. Hey, one other thing around the league. I don't have too many right now. I mean, Rick Spielman's in New York right now. They need a quarterback. The Jets do. Kirko Chains.
Well, price to live in New York, but I think Kirk can afford it.
Jets. Yeah, Kirk's got the money.
Yeah. Does he want to play? Does he want to be? Does Kirk Cousins want to be in the New York media? Oh my God, they might eat him alive.
You know. Julie wanted a bigger place, but we kind of went with a studio apartment.
But he could live in like New Jersey or something. He doesn't have to
live.
And he
$5,000 a month.
Run out of the practice facility, so he doesn't have to talk to the media.
He's going to be shocked too when he like gets cut, and then like other teams are only going to offer him like, why are you only on Metro minimum? Because the other team's paying you. Like, we can't.
The Jets seems like. I think they would be the front runner with Spielman being there now. The Steelers, I guess.
Colts? I couldn't see Kirk going to Indianapolis.
But that's like are they that desperate? I guess they should be.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Colt.
Oh, he's going to hang out with Pat McAfee every day.
Right.
Oh,
McAfee's
wow.
going to be like, yeah, bro, you got to get him in here.
Put that together.
Totally misunderstood, bro.
Yeah. And then what was the other one that I was thinking? Oh, I think Connor Orr from Sports Illustrated predicted the other day that the Dolphins are going to sign to Kirk, and he's going to replace Tua in the middle of the season because of the Shanahan offense thing and Mike McDaniel running that and stuff. If Stafford leaves the Rams, I could see them signing Kirk to a short deal and drafting somebody maybe.
Who's the front runner for Sam Darnold, do you think?
That's going to be the Raiders, right? That's the team that keeps being mentioned. The Raiders. The Rams also could be one if Stafford leaves. No. Oh, I forgot about the Browns for Cousins too, because Stefanski.
Yes.
There aren't there's teams for Darnold, but the Giants. Does he want to play in New York again? I don't think he does. Would you want to do that? It's different, obviously, because it's the Giants. But do you want to go back there? The Niners, if they don't want to pay Purdy. I don't think he goes to the Titans. I think it is going to be the Raiders because Pete Carroll's there now and it's some sort of stability there, so Darnold doesn't have to freak out totally. And what do they have? Chip Kelly as their OC now, and he worked with Kevin O'Connell in San Francisco, so there's kind of a connection there.
Didn't you opine that you thought maybe the Seahawks would be interested too?
I still think it could happen where the Seahawks trade Geno Smith to the Raiders and then the Seahawks sign Sam Darnold. Because he's a West Coast kid. Not that Seattle's like the beach, but still it's Pacific time zone. But that's like a place where he can have a bad game and people aren't he's not the top story on SportsCenter the next day.
Live in the mountains, grow a beard.
And who's those? They just hired Clint Kubiak. That's why. And he was together with him in San Francisco. So the Saints, maybe if they get rid of Derek Carr. But no, they can't afford him. Never mind. They have negative $90 million.
Yeah. Did you see Kellen Moore's press conference
we have
today?
him. He's on the roster, but I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, because the whole thing was what are you gonna do about the salary cap, man? And he's like, well, I'm gonna coach.
We're not gonna pay anybody.
we're gonna be mid-90s ECW.
Intramurals.
Well, did you see what the owner did at that press conference? So
the lady?
Gail Benson, the owner CEO of the Saints, she gets up there and she's like, yeah, we're really excited to have Kellen here, leader, and we think we found one. We're really excited for Ellen Moore.
Is that worse than Duval?
I think it's way worse than Duval. I mean, that's you can use if the Jaguars are good, you can whip that out as a celebration. Ellen Moore's if he sucks, it's gonna be everywhere.
The Cowboys press conference when they introduced Schottenheimer and everybody got an applause except for Jerry's son. And then Schottenheimer's like, I'll clap for you.
Hey,
we have no idea why you guys have new coaches every other year. It's weird.
Ah, man. Good old we them boys. What's going on, Vikings?
Well, then the Saints are probably just going to be good next year for some stupid reason.
Wonderkin Kellen Moore.
They still have Kamara, right?
Hired him 2 years ago.
And Cam Jordan still there, right?
They'll probably kick the money down into 2047 or something like that. Void years.
Let's see. Next week, teams can start tagging players. So we'll see if the Vikings franchise tag Sam Darnold. Don't think that's going to happen. Because they would just be backing themselves into a corner if they did that. We'll be doing some. It is. We are fully in the middle of mock draft season, so we'll be doing those. Those are everywhere every day now, and then free agency will be here before we know it. So we'll be doing some preview stuff for that too, and whatever news and sound bites people have, I'm sure there'll be reports and people going on, I don't know, Rich Eisen being like, oh, like it still could be Darnold, could be they're not sure about McCarthy, but they like McCarthy. But yeah, that's going to be happening until Darnold signs somewhere else.
Do you think it's like, is it like the Simpsons episode where like Homer's like wondering whether he should leave Marge, and he goes to the Chinese restaurant with his fling, and like he's just like, what is the for? Yeah, he's gonna leave Marge, and he's got this like hot fling. So they go to a Chinese restaurant on a date, and he's like, what does the fortune cookie says? And it says, leave your wife, or so like they follow the waiter back there. And there's two barrels, and one's like, stay with your wife or leave your wife. It's like, what should I give him? Stay with your wife.
And then Darnold's going to sign somewhere else, and then there's going to be all these reports. We knew all along that this is what everyone was leaning to. This was the path that the Vikings have been building towards the entire time, and now they get to move forward with J.J. McCarthy as their next starting quarterback. Like, why can't we just say that now?
Development in Minnesota,
because you guys,
nobody
we don't want to hurt our
tell
sources.
Them now
we don't want to hurt our sources' feelings. We don't want to hurt Sam Darnold's trade value if he has any.
Yes, get our 7th round pick and a Jersey Mike sub. Oh, Jersey!
But you don't think anyone? You don't think all those people who went to the Super Bowl the week before or last week, whatever, know that like Darnold's not going back to the Vikings? Like, people talking that stuff. Combine's coming up. Senior ball already happened. Like, they already know what's going to happen. Sorry.
Bring back front office Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Who do we want to see? Who do we want to see? You know, I would actually want to see the Eagles just because they're so annoyingly good at everything they do in the front office.
Like just how it happens, like
drafting Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that's like the only. That's like the only mistake they made is like not drafting Justin Jefferson. And they still won the Super Bowl. One of the greatest moments in Vikings history, though. Well, get Justin Jefferson on the phone.
They can't stop laughing. Meanwhile, the Eagles are like, yeah, it's hilarious. We just won 2 Super Bowls.
We just traded up for Jalen Carter. Congratulations.
No idea what was available.
Yes. Well, also, too, I should point out the fan-sided RBN. We got a whole bunch of websites up if you want to learn about some of the other teams, maybe follow some of the others. We just launched sites, I think, last week. House of Houston. So we're covering the Texans there. We're covering the Falcons. So I still get my Kirk Cousins fix, like writing. Yeah, just like, man, you got any more Kirk Cousins nuggets? Come on. We got House of Houston. We got ATL all day. We got, what was the other one? Golden Gate Sports, the San Francisco area. So we're doing that. And then we also, there's one more site on there and I can't think of what it is right now. Detroit Jock City Lions. So yeah, if you want to keep up on the Lions, it's one of our most successful websites actually. So it's booming over there. So yeah, go check those sites out. And obviously we got Sport DFW covering the Cowboys. We're going to expand our MLB coverage and NBA coverage next week. So go ahead, check all that out. But of course, we do the Viking Age here. This is the Viking Age podcast. I am Chris Schad at The Real Chris Schad. He is Adam Patrick at Adam Patrick NFL. We do this every
week.
That can go out yes, we do this every week. We're once a week now. Right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We can spread the word to the masses. For Adam Patrick, I am Chris Schad. This has been the Viking Age podcast.